Welcome back to you. Today is Tuesday. Hope you're off to a wonderful start this week. Question for you today. Do you think there's any value to having kids struggle? Maybe long-term benefit. So as kids progress through the childhood years. And I guess I want to define struggle in two ways. One is mental struggle. So a child sits down to do their homework and they don't have the answer to every problem. Is there value to having them really put out some effort and work through some of those questions and problems, knowing that it's within their realm of possibility? And so the mental struggle. And then I guess the other is the physical struggle. What benefit is there to having kids get out and do something that's active and pushes the heart rate a little bit? Is there benefit there long term? Well, I think you could probably make the argument that, just for a healthy being, sure there is. Long-term physical health, and you're building great habits at a young age for your physical health that I think will carry over and transfer into long-term benefits when you become an adult. I think the same, though, is true. I'm going to argue the same for the mental struggle. If you sit down and you learn how to work through homework, and again, I love the example of homework because it's something that's kind of non-negotiable. At least for most kids. You have to go to school. Most cases, homework is given. It's something that probably most kids are not really excited about doing. But they have to work through that. And then it becomes apparent, your decision to sit there and say, well, am I going to give them all the answers? Am I going to be there to lend a helping hand? Or am I going to let them kind of go on their own? And I don't know that I advocate for either end of the spectrum, but maybe somewhere in between where they're saying, hey, I really don't know how to do this, and you're kind of guiding them. Well, what do you know so far? What do the directions say? Let's read through them. So you're giving them some support in how to solve the problem, how to really put out the effort, but in the end, it's them. They need to be the ones. So I'm going to argue, yeah, there is some long-term benefit to that. Because a lot of folks right now, right, the way the economy is and just the world in general, we're struggling, right? It's a daily struggle. In most cases, it's the mental grind. How am I going to pay the bills this month? Am I going to be able to keep my job through next week? And knowing how to persevere and be resilient enough to know that, hey, if I persevere, if I put in the effort, I know that I'm going to be able to achieve, versus things aren't happening for me today, so I guess I'm done. What am I going to do now? So I think that's the long-term benefit. But yet, to develop that kind of a mindset, it starts with kids' childhood years. And then I think it comes to a peak during the middle school years, because this is when kids, again, really starting to define who they are as people, what their personality is all about, and really getting a solid idea of what it means to persevere and develop a work ethic. So I think just like the physical side of it, kids learn how to develop healthy habits for their physical being. I think there's also that same type of momentum building on the mental side. So in the end, I guess my answer to that question, is there any value in the struggle, is yes. Right? I think it's particularly relevant now because a lot of parents are struggling. And as I said, mostly in the mental category. But hey, if you're getting up early and you're staying up late, that's going to take a beating on your physical as well. So I think we're really struggling in both areas right now, and what a wonderful opportunity not to force all of that on your child, but to make a connection and say, hey, I'm really struggling, and I can see where there's places in your life where you're really struggling. You're saying to your child, let's work through that, and showing that, being a model for that. Okay. Hey, on to a Wednesday. Tomorrow we're cruising through this week. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.